Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Saturday, December the 2nd, and this is my bi-weekly weekend update on a Saturday. I hope everyone has had an amazing couple of weeks. This is December 2nd. It's the start of the holiday season. I hope everyone's into it full swing. I know that here I have been crafting, creating, stitching, finding 1,001 ways to burn myself with a glue gun. You know, I enjoy it. I have made a wreath for my front door. I have created a few burlap ribbon poinsettias for my Christmas tree. This weekend I found a idea on Pinterest to do. Have anyone ever done the salt dough ornaments with their children? I know I have. But I found something similar using cinnamon, and I am going to make tiny little gingerbread ornaments and string them on a ribbon for garland for my tree. And I'm hoping to do that probably tomorrow. So it's a crafting season for me. I think I began that with my children when they were small, when every 2 or 3 days we would bake cookies or we would create something. Just as they do the same pretty much in school, they do a crafts very often during the holiday season, and I carried that on in our home, and now that they're gone, I'm still carrying it on here, and I just enjoy it. Crafty creative time makes me happy. So when I've not been crafty creating, I have been stitching, and I know that I had wanted to focus on a finish with my pins and needles piece, and it just was not holding my attention. The last time I stitched on it was at the Pigeon Forge retreat, and I have not picked it back up since. In the meantime, I have finished a couple of things. In my last video, I showed you the retreat piece that was designed by Teresa Shakespeare's Peddler, and I think it was Let There Be Light, and I finished that into a pin pillow. And then the retreat from Marietta in August, Katrina Boyd had gifted us all a JVW design of a pumpkin, and I finished that up before the Christmas season started. But this is it. I think I showed you the finished piece, this, in my last video. Natasha had visited with me a couple weekends ago and had gifted me this piece of fabric, and I finished it into this pillow. Now this is wool, and this is wool thread, and these are wooden buttons. And I'm off center here, and I'll tell you a story about that in a second. But I finished this up, what, 2 weeks ago? I don't remember. Since my last video, I finished this up into a pillow. And I really like it. Now this wool, I really like wool. I bought a few pieces at a retreat last November in Toccoa, Georgia. There was a retreat there, and I attended, and there was a lady there selling wool kits, and I guess you would call it sheets of wool. They're not like you would buy fat quarter at Joann's. They were all pre-cuts. But anyway, I bought a few colors, and I bought this one because I really like the browns and the undertones of oranges and yellows. And I've not used them for anything, and that's just ridiculous because they're beautiful. So I used them to finish this up, and it was difficult to use them. I've never sewn with them before, and they kind of crawled, if that makes sense, when I was using my sewing machine. And with like a piece of fabric, when you cut it, it holds its shape, but wool is a little different in that the edging didn't always, I don't know how to describe it other than to say it just kind of crawled. So it was an interesting experience to finish this, but I still think it turned out pretty good. Now in the back, I used one of Vanna's tutorials where you sew all the way around. You know, you have your right sides together, and you sew all the way around your piece to make your pillow, and then you take two other pieces that you leave a slit in the side to sew in the center. And I had done that, and of course it's supposed to be in the center, but I had to do it my way because I'm in the middle of crafting. It's late at night, had a late work day, and I realized I could save a piece of wool about this much that I could use to make pennies. And so I scooted the piece over on the top and I cut it, forgetting that I wanted this in the center. So anyway, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And I do have a couple pieces for pennies, but that is not originally what I intended. Now, I will say too, I had purchased 3 spools of wool thread to do an applique kit that I had bought a few months ago. And I decided to use the wool thread to add just an odd stitched embellishment on the outside. That is different from cotton too, in that with cotton, especially the cotton and polyester blends, you can kind of tug on those to get, kind of cinch things together. Now, it wasn't a problem here. It was a problem here because I used it to close up, and you see the closure is not straight. But you can't tug those threads as you would a cotton polyester or a cotton blend. It's not, it would fray and pull apart. So if you've never used them and you do use them, I do like the way it looked here. It makes it look a little prim, especially with the splotchiness of the fabric. I love this overall, my finish, but just a little things that I ran into that maybe you keep in mind if you ever decide to do something similar with wool threads. Once I stopped with that, I'm really itching to start something new, and it's the end of the year, and I'm wanting to get my WIP number down. And so even if I do start a new one, I want it to be something small, something that I knew that I could finish by December 31st, so I wouldn't carry another WIP over into the year. So I picked up an old piece that was started, but not by me. My friend Anne, my dear friend Anne, gifted me a huge box of things that she was getting rid of. Kits, class pieces, things that she had started or maybe not even opened and decided that she wasn't going to stitch them. And this is one of them. And she had started this in a class, and she had finished just the top corner of this flower, and I know she had finished almost completed the flower, but anyway, just a small portion of the top left-hand corner of this. And it looks big, and it is, I would say, a medium-sized piece, but there's lots of wording. Wording goes really fast, so I knew that I could finish this up. I had a really good chance of finishing this up, and I love the colors. I will say it has here the Spirit of Cross Stitch 1996, which used to be a festival. I know a lot of you have said that you remember this sampler and you remember those festivals, but I'm going to omit that and scoot the flower line up. I mean, the Spirit of Cross Stitch festivals are no longer a thing. I do not believe. I could be wrong. But I plan just to omit this and scoot this up. So let me show you where I am. This is where I am. I'll just take the top part off. Hold on just a second. So here I am. I'm a pink girl. You wouldn't know it by the colors of my home. I do love earth tones. But see my shirt? The teal and the pink. I love those colors. As far as clothing, I'm drawn to them. So this is where I am. So I am I'm right in here. So I don't have much more. So there's a good chance I'll have this finished up by the end of the year, which makes me very happy. Not one more WIP. Well, like I said, it's not my WIP, so is it really a WIP if it's not your WIP? And what else do I have? I have a couple of gifts in the mail I want to share with you. Cross stitchers are, again, we can't say it enough. Cross stitchers are amazing people. So my sweet friend Diana, and I can't remember if I showed this in my last video. I don't think that I did. She gifted me, pulled this off of my wish list on 123, the Little House Needle Works, and it's hot cocoa. Gifted me with the threads. And she must pay attention to my videos, so she knows that I like turtles. So she gifted me with this, as well as the cutest little turtle button. I think that I will try to incorporate that into maybe a scissors fob or a chatelaine. Really like that. Thank you, Diana. You're the sweetest. And so I had loaned a pattern out to a friend, and she does Flosstube, or she is a friend now, but she does Flosstubes, and she was looking for a pattern, and she couldn't find it, and I had it. And I loaned it to her, and now I think I've made a forever friend. So she sends me my pattern back, and she sends a few freebie patterns, but she also sent this, which I really love this. And I look forward to stitching this. So, she sent the sweetest little thank you note, and one more thing. She sent this piece of Millo by Picture This Plus. Isn't this fabric just wonderful? And look, matches my walls. I love it. I can stitch a sampler on it. I can stitch one of my mirrors on it. I think it's a fat quarter. Yeah, it's a fat quarter. How generous is that? And it's 36 count, which is my favorite count. So, you know. So thank you, Jennifer. And for those of you that do not know Jennifer, she has a Flosstube, Jennifer Upton. She lives in Michigan, I believe. Pop over and tell her hello. Watch a video or two. And also, I have a past postcard pal from Canada, Miss Colleen. She sent me, watching my videos, she sent me a couple of hankies. And look at that. Now, I do believe this is machine embroidered, but this is like on a gauzy material. See how thin that is? So she sent two just alike, and I just love it. So thanks so much, Colleen. I know she watches these videos from time to time. So I got those in the mail. And what else? I did. I pulled out a couple of things because everyone's stitching the holiday pieces, and I have no holiday whips. So I'm looking through, and I find this. This pattern was gifted to me by my friend Karen in Arizona. She's on Instagram, and she sent this to me last year, I believe. She finished this up, and I love this. It would be a relatively quick stitch, and I thought, well, I will start that. And then I picked up something else. It's a Sub Rosa piece called This Little Light of Mine. This is my working copy. And it's whites and reds and golden colors. And browns, I think. I pulled the colors. And I love this. So I've got an upcoming trip. Jacob will be graduating soon. So I need something. We're not flying. We are driving. 16 hours. I'm not happy. But lots of stitchy time. When I'm not driving, I'll be stitching. So, hey, find a positive in the negative. We will be leaving out and stopping the first night. We will be staying in Biloxi, Mississippi. My parents are riding. Well, 4 of us are riding together. My parents, my husband, and I are riding. And we will be stopping in Biloxi because there's a casino there that my mom and dad love to visit. Not a gambler here. There's other things I would love to spend my money on, if you know what I mean. So I'm one of those that go into a casino like it is an amusement park. You give me $20, you sit me at a penny machine, or I don't even know if they have those anymore, nickel machine, and leave me be, and once that money's gone, it's gone, and I'm done. If I win, that's great. I'm not putting it back in there. If I lose, I've lost $20. So I don't mind going at all. I told them, you guys have fun. I'll be content just to stay up in the room and stitch, and that's probably what I'll do. But I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to being in a car that long, but I'm looking forward to driving through these states. I've not taken a trip like that since earlier, maybe 5 years ago. I took a road trip with a couple girlfriends to Tulsa, Oklahoma to see to visit the Silver Needle. And I love driving across country. It's something you experience. You get to see so many new things that you would not see, of course, if you're flying. So I am looking forward to discovering things. I'm not looking forward to sitting still, and that's it. My family tells me I have ants in my pants because I don't like to sit still. I'm up moving. I'm doing something. I'm sitting still for 16 hours for 2 days is just not appealing to me. Okay. So, what else do I have over here? I think that's it. The other thing is last weekend, my dear friend Pam hosted she does it every year at a local church. She hosts an after Thanksgiving stitch. And I dropped by there, and one of the friends there, Sharon, had brought a couple containers of her stitched patterns that she no longer wanted, that she had found. And so we got to go through them, and I'm going to show you what I got. So I got this Snapperland series, which is the Summer Snapperland, and she's already printed off the freebie border off of Bent Creek's site. I had seen this stitched up, and I'm going to show you. I pulled this out. This is the Autumn Snapperland, and I stitched this several years ago and just have not finished it. I did not put the snaps on it because there are the little button type snaps. I didn't put those on there. So that is this one. So of course the color scheme is different, and let me just pull them out and show you them individually. And the snaps. So see, each pattern comes with snaps. I sold this one, my Autumn, on Stash Unload. But there's that one. And that one. Love this. He has a peg leg. So I will stitch these at some point. I also picked this up. Ingeborg, look. So you've got some cut work here. I love this holly border. So this is an older one. This is by Cross and Patch. I do have several other pieces of theirs that are like this. They're cross stitch intermingled with Hardanger. And Hardanger seems to be something everyone's dabbling in here on Flosstube, and I love to see it. So not this year, but maybe in the next year or so I will stitch on this. I really like this. I also picked up this after seeing one of Vanna's videos. I think she was finishing up a stand-up. She had the Uncle Sam, Lizzie Kate kit. It was a stand-up. Well, I got Mrs. Claus. She is so underappreciated. Everything's always about Santa and the elves and the reindeer. What about Mrs. Claus? Who washes their clothes and feeds them? So I'm looking forward to stitching up Miss Claus. I like her. And it has everything. It has the finishing fabric, whisper thread. It looks like it is. It's Ada. Her little glasses. A basket. She probably has cookies in that basket. So there's that. And this is one of the ones that I picked up that I'm most happy about. Had another friend, Emily, who tagged me or sent me a link to a with eye needle piece that I had been looking for on eBay that was on 1, 2, 3 stitch on sale for pennies on clearance. But this one my friend Sharon had. And it says, "Tell me ye knowing and discerning few, where I may find a friend both firm and true, who dares stand by me in deep distress, and then his love and friendship most express." Love this. And Ellen Chester, I'm pretty sure I'm following her on Instagram, and she's at Colonial Williamsburg this weekend. That is on my Stitcher's bucket list. Do any of you have a Stitcher's bucket list? Because I do. One of them is going to Colonial Williamsburg and taking a class. And then another is to go to the Mischievous Quilt Company, Allie. And another is to go back to the Silver Needle and to go to the attic in Arizona and to go to Shepherd's Bush in Utah. I would love to visit these shops. So that is just a few of my things that are on my Stitcher's bucket list. I also, while participated in an ornament swap, and I stitched an ornament up for another stitcher and mailed it out this week, so I don't have it to show you. But me being me, I'm very much a buy one for you, buy one for me. So I stitched one for them and I stitched one for me. So this is mine. And you can see I've wrinkled it up trying to get... I used this one as kind of a template to cut my mat board. So I don't have it up here, but I cut the pieces into a tag shape, so I made one of the hanging tag ornaments with it using this fabric. And I loved how it turned out, and it's so hard to give away a stitched piece. I know, Michelle Bendy Stitchy, you are always giving things away, girl. These are my babies. It's very hard to give my babies away. So I'm looking for the supplies to do these things, and I come across a drawer with some finished ones in from prior. When did I finish them? I don't know, because I didn't put a date on them. So there's this one, and it's a nativity scene, and I remember this was a freebie piece from Just Another Button Company. When you bought the buttons, you got the cross stitch pattern free, and so I went ahead and cut out a manger shaped piece. And I'll probably use some jute twine, but I'm going to finish that this weekend. And this is not Christmas, but I found this, and it's got a tiny stain on there that I'm hoping I can get out. But this is a shepherd's bush. It's a little egg. That'll be so cute for Easter. This, I can't remember the name of the designer, but, you know, each side says joy, mirror image of joy. So I have this, and I already had to cut the fabric out, so I was going to finish this up at some point and never got around to it. So yay for digging in stash. But this was in a box that I have, if you know what a crocodile is, that puts the little, what do you call the, I've lost the little circular pieces that you clamp into fabric or cardboard so that you have a hole that will not distort in your fabric and things. And you use a crocodile to squeeze the little metal pieces in. So anyway, these were in the crocodile box, and that's why I never go in there looking for cross stitch. So anyhow, that is everything. So you know, my plans are to work on my hair in the basket today. Probably tomorrow will be to make my gingerbread garland and to put a couple of ornaments together, and at some point make a dinner and wash clothes and mop and sweep and dust and, you know, change the sheets on my bed. So I will have, you know, Cinderella chores mixed in with stitching fun. But everyone, have a great week. Enjoy the holiday season. Enjoy your family. And it seems like everyone is enjoying their decorating. I know I am. I may or may not see you back next weekend. I just don't know. But if not, if you don't see much of me this month, you will see me back in January like normal. But everyone have a great week. I will see you soon. Until then, hugs and stitches. Bye-bye.